Hello and welcome to this special Facebook Live. I'm going to be interviewing my virtual assistant and answering all your questions. As I say, it's Catherine Turner here. A pleasure to be with you. I've got lots of questions already that have come in, but do make sure if you're especially listening live to ask your questions in the comments box below as well. And I will try and get as many answered as possible. So I'm just going to invite Mary, our fabulous VA, our executive VA, to this live interview. So bear with me and we will get started. As I say, put your questions and comments below. I'll do a little introduction as well. Here we go, let's invite. Okay, so good morning, Julie. Good to have you on live. So do say hello if you're watching live as well. So while Mary is joining us, we will. I'll just give a little introduction. So Mary is one of 4 of our virtual assistants who are based out in the Philippines, and like I said, Mary has become more of an executive PA and taken over the role of collaborating and bringing together all our virtual assistants in the Philippines and acting more like an operations manager for us, which has been brilliant. She's been able to step up into that role. And let me just check. Everything going okay. So Mary has been invited. See how we go. We were checking in the system earlier as well. So let me give you a little bit of information. So Mary just Mary just works for our business. So she doesn't work with other clients as well. So a few people asked about that. And so there's no work for other people. But what I will ask her as well is about how she's worked maybe for other people in different countries. And how it's all worked for her, like working for other people in different time zones as well. So Mary mainly works for us in our UK hours, which is really, really great, and works for our business, but you can try different ways of doing it. So I've heard she's watching now. Let's just make sure the invite has definitely gone over to her as well to come and join us. Yep, the invite's gone. So hopefully, Mary, you will be able to see that invite and can come and join us. This is my first joining on double live interview where I've had to add the person in, so hopefully it's me doing it right. Exactly that. So let me go over a few. So we're going to ask Mary why she became a VA. It's one of the questions we've got. Does being a VA give her lots of freedom in her day-to-day life? Top tips for people looking to outsource to a VA as well. I will be going through how we where we hired Mary from. And I'm going to give you some information around how you can get your own virtual assistant as well, because I know that's really important to people about how they can get their own. So we'll keep working here, making sure Mary's invited to come and join. She has said she's watching, so hopefully the invite will come up to her soon. What else we've got? Obviously, we're going to talk about the different tasks that Mary does in our business, but she's also going to talk about what the other team does as well, because she oversees the rest of the virtual team as well. Obviously, we've got a service accommodation business, an e-commerce business, we have a speaking education business. So all of that as well, she's overseeing, as well as doing personal assistant work for us as well. So additional work that me and my husband, my business partner, Stephen, also needs within the business. So for some reason, Mary can't join. What's going on? So, well, I can answer the question. So what I'm going to do then, let's just work with what we've got. Typical. Mary, as you can hear me throughout this, you can answer, can you even comment in the box maybe? That might be a way to do it. Or you can talk to me via our messenger here, and we'll kind of do, it just won't be on video. So that's fine. We can work through that. Don't worry. We'll find a way around it. So, like I said, what we actually love using in terms of communication for our team is a fairly new tool is called Slack. So different from say just meshing on text or things like that, you can group it via the businesses that you're working on, the type of things you're talking about. So maybe, for example, for our service accommodation business, we might be talking about how we're going to get extra bookings, or the customer service side of things, and it can all be grouped via channels and categories. So that's really, really good. So let me see. Can you answer here, or we can do this. We can find a way around it. And to be honest, I know most of Mary's answers, I'm sure. That's great. Morning, no problem. So a few people, if you've got to dash off, as I say, this video will be then live, recorded. Obviously, it's live right now, but it will go in as a recorded version into the group a little later on. So, Mary, hopefully, so the join button's not coming up. Okay, let's try again. Mary, it's definitely saying invited. I can't seem to re-invite. Okay, Mary's in there. Hopefully you can see some of her comments. So, great, Mary. Let's see if we can do this. It's all done. It's all done. It's fine. So, Mary, do you want to tell us a little bit about the tasks? Oh, sorry, let's start from the beginning. Why did you choose to become a virtual assistant or a VA? Let me, hopefully that'll be good. We'll do that. While Mary's answering that, so someone's asked about pay. Of course, that always comes up. That's fine, don't worry at all. So in terms of pay, Mary works 40 hours a week for us. She's very good and usually goes over and above that as well. Just being able to kind of making sure she's keeping up to date with everything, doing additional training with us. Yeah, let's see if we can do that. So yeah, let's try and make this more real time because I think there's a slight delay in the comments and what Mary's going to see from her end otherwise on Messenger. So what we might try and do is tag team another computer into this and Skype Mary live as well. We'll see how that goes. The wonders of technology, hey, it's absolutely fine. If we need to restart, we might restart as well. So we'll see how we go. So yes, Mary works 40 hours a week for us as well. I'll let Mary talk about her pay because it's up to her if she wants to divulge that as well. But one of the things we put in the contract for Mary, so this is a contract of engagement that we have for Mary and all our virtual team, is obviously their KPIs, their KRAs, and also talks about their pay and any bonuses and any holiday and sick leave. One of the things we like to do for our virtual team, especially those based out in the Philippines, is they get what's called a 13-month bonus. So December, which is coming up, just an extra bonus for Christmas time, holidays and things like that, and obviously the great work they've done throughout the year. So probably doing some spoilers here, Mary, but you have been an absolute brilliant virtual assistant for us, and you know, we are very looking forward to giving you a bonus this year because we know how hard you've worked for our businesses. We've even got Rob Moore joining us live. Hi there, Rob, as well. So yeah, all the wonders of technology. We are going to try and get Mary live on another computer on Skype because the join button's not coming up for her on Facebook Live, unfortunately. One of those things. What sort of tasks as well we're going to talk about? Pros and cons of being a VA. Oh, I like it. We're getting in there. Any other questions you've got, please make sure you're putting them live into the comments box. You're very welcome as well. So we're also going to ask her where different clients have come from. Like I said, at the moment, Mary just works for us. So 40 hours a week. Mary's full-time for us. We made that decision. Again, you may decide if you take on a virtual assistant to take them maybe part-time. You might want to share them with someone, especially within the community. If you're working on a similar business idea, then that's definitely worth considering as well. So for a while, we were actually sharing a bookkeeper based in the Philippines with Jackie. Tomes, who's part of this community, but actually we decided to, we needed someone who was a bit more full-time for us, had fuller qualifications. So we've actually got a finance manager with full accountancy qualifications, that's the word I'm looking for, and she is our finance manager, also called Mary, funnily enough, so it gets a little bit confusing, but she works across 3 of our main businesses. She also records all the KPIs for us as well, so that's really important. What can your team do that you might have had to have done in the past? So for example, collating and bringing together all your KPIs, that now you can just spend a short amount of time just reviewing. So that's really key for us, that at one point our KPIs probably weren't being measured and managed and monitored properly because we were also having to do them. So think about the tasks that actually you think you might not be able to outsource because maybe they seem a bit too complex or difficult, or you think you're the only one who can do them within your business. But then what Mary, our finance manager, is doing is collating them all from our different team members, and then myself and Stephen just review them, and it takes sort of 30 to 60 minutes a week. So that's great. So we're seeing if we can get Mary live at the moment on another computer, just because the Facebook Live join button is not coming up for her, unfortunately, but we will try and get you viewing her. So Mary is commenting along as well at the moment, so hopefully you'll be able to see that. And no nicking her, that is the caveat for today. That we're putting this together, but she is fabulous, but she's ours. So morning to a few other people who've been able to join us live, fantastic. Excellent, so I think we've got her, fantastic. So let's make some room on the table here. And there we go. Oh, Stephen's making up. Hey, so let's see if we can do this. If we can see. There we go, there's Mary. Fantastic. Hi, Mary. Let's put the volume up there. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, there we go. So let's move this all out the way. There we go. Oh, okay, let's put this a little higher. There we go. Okay, but you're still going to be able to see me. Fantastic. Thank you, Stephen. Hey, wonders of technology. We can do this. So, lovely. Let's put you a little bit higher as well. There we go. So how are you doing today, Mary? How is it in the Philippines today?
It's fine. It's cold now because it's 20 days to go before Christmas.
Ah, of course. Yes, indeed. Yes. Cold here as well. Yes, indeed. So let's try and we'll boost you up a little bit. There we go. And then we can all be seen at the same time. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Okay, lovely. So you're not going to be able to see me, Mary, because I'm actually going to put you, you can now be seen on the Facebook Live. So hopefully that is all fine, but you can hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic. So I've got my list of questions. So one of the first ones that I think would be a really good one to answer is what made you initially want to become a virtual assistant, a VA for people?
Yes, simply because I wanted to have a freedom.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to have my own schedule, and I prefer to ease into my day instead of, rushing through my shower and deal with the traffic every day while going to work. Plus, I have the privilege of working at home, earning while spending the time with my kids.
Wonderful. So that's what I love about the fact that we can hire people from all over the world, give them what they want as well from their business. So I love that you talked about freedom, don't have to go through the traffic to get to work, obviously enables you to look after your family, all of that. Fantastic. So probably many of the same reasons that people who are joining us on this live Facebook, or Facebook Live, probably the reason they're getting into business and doing what they do is probably for exactly the same reasons. So that's what I love. Great. And you're able to help us do that. So that's what I love. Thank you, Mary. Okay. So just because I know this will be a big question for a lot of people, what sort of tasks are you doing for us across our different businesses? And obviously I've mentioned already that you oversee other members of the team. So if you want to talk a little bit about that as well, that would be really great. Did you want to talk about the different tasks you do as well, Mary, for our businesses?
I'm sorry. I'm having a feedback here.
That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got
So
me.
basically my task is general admin, wherein I handle. I'm sorry, Catherine. I'm having a feedback.
Okay, it's all sounding fine here. Do you want to shut down the Facebook Live where you are, and then we'll just do it via the Skype? It's probably where feedback's coming from.
Yes, I can hear you, but there's a feedback on Facebook Live.
Okay. Do you want to shut yours down on your end? Would that work?
Okay, sure.
Here we go. Morning, everyone. As I say, keep your comments coming in as well for Mary. Any questions you've got, either for myself or Mary as well, I'm happy to answer any as well.
Okay.
So one of the questions
yes,
was...
I'm okay now.
Yeah, fantastic. So one of the questions around the tasks you do, obviously we've got a number of different businesses. You oversee the team as well. So if you want to talk a little bit about that, I know that would be really helpful for people.
Yes, so as I mentioned, basically I'm doing a general virtual assistant task wherein I manage emails for a different business, and at the same time I'm doing some basic HTML. I'm also doing Mailchimp marketing, and then I'm also overseeing other VA's tasks and monitoring if all the tasks has been dealt with on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis.
Yeah.
And I'm also the one who's responsible in reporting to Steve every Friday for our end of the week report. And I'm doing some of the basic designs like brochures, leaflets, and other marketing stuffs for our business, and that's it.
So I think you're selling yourself short there, Mary. You do so much more than that as well for us. I know.
Yeah, that's work.
Yeah, I know it's hard when you're put on the spot to think about what you actually do all the time. So one of the things, so a few people in this group have service accommodation businesses like we do. So one of the things Mary has done just recently for us is, I've forgotten how many now, it was, so there we go, 31, I've just been mouthed by Stephen in the background, 31 different ways we can market and increase the amount of clients we get into the business. So fantastic, like that saves us so much time. So Mary, that sort of task for us is invaluable. So yeah, so content, you really just bring the team together as well. You know, you've been able to host team meetings for us, get improvements in each person's work, making sure all their tasks are done, which is no mean feat. So yeah, Mary is an absolute superstar. So yeah, thank you again, Mary, for joining us today as more than anything, but also for just being a fabulous VA. So let's go on as well. So people have talked about the hours you work. People have asked about pay, but I appreciate that's a very personal question, so it's up to you whether you want to answer that or not. But again, how does it work working in the Philippines and working UK hours?
Yeah, so for the hours I work from 4 in the afternoon here in the Philippines until 12 in the midnight. But sometimes I do work longer than that, especially if other VAs have questions for me to attend to. That's why I installed Slack on my mobile, so that even if I'm already off to my shift, I can still answer their questions, and I can also monitor their tasks if it has already been dealt with. Especially that we already integrated Slack or assigned it to Slack, so it's easier for us to check the tasks that are completed and those tasks that they put on a comment, or if they needed any help for those particular tasks. So for the pay, since I signed a non-disclosure agreement with you, I can't discuss it today, but
that's okay.
I'm not working, I'm sorry, I'm not, my pay is not per hour. So
Yeah.
that's all I can say regarding the compensation.
That's okay. So one of the things I do get asked about though is your pay relative to maybe as a virtual assistant compared to maybe what the average wage is in the Philippines, and are we paying a good wage? So would you say on average you get paid better as a VA than maybe kind of other work that you would do in the Philippines?
Yes, of course. I can say that being a virtual assistant has you have the opportunity to set your own rate, and it has a higher compensation than working on a company, because as you know, in a corporate world, there's a lot of there's tax, there's some benefits that they will deduct your salary, unlike when you're working in a freelance or a virtual assistant. You will have your fixed salary. So I believe that compensation wise, it's good to be a virtual assistant than working in a corporate world.
Great. Okay, that's really good to know as well, because I think a lot of people always are concerned because obviously our economy here is very different to your economy there, and they're always thinking that, you know, are we paying a fair and good wage? So that's really good to hear. So a question we've just had in live is, does Mary get holiday and time and days to take off? So yeah, so actually it's actually a public holiday there today, isn't it? In the Philippines.
Yes, it's holiday today. Yes.
Yeah, so normally,
yeah,
so normally Mary would have had a day off today, but she's very graciously giving her time today. So we're really thankful of that, to join us on the Facebook Live. So of course you have public holidays. Obviously we do paid holiday. So we do similar to what we do in the UK, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. So I hope that helps. So I mentioned earlier before you came on, Mary, that obviously we have what's called a contract of engagement with you, where you have obviously all your pay, your sick, your holiday, all laid out along with your KPIs and KRAs that you need to meet for the business. So one of the things I just want to mention to people who are joining us either live on the video or are watching the recording later is that one of the things we have been doing recently is partnering with Rob Moore, who is the founder of Unlimited Success. He launched a book called Life Leverage about a year or so or more ago, and we've been working with him since that to bring that book to life and to make it into an online course. And one of the things we include in that online course is all of the KPIs, KRAs, everything we use for our virtual assistants, and even how we hire them, the whole process and all the templates as well. So I want to tell you a little bit more about that. I don't want to take up the time with Mary right now. So what I'm doing is a live online training on Sunday, this Sunday coming at 8 o'clock. There is a link to register. I'm going to put it in the comments below, but it is a bit.ly link, which is bit.ly/leverage lifestyle. So if you want to join me live on Sunday at 8 p.m, I'm going to dive into a lot more detail. Obviously, this is specifically on virtual assistants and what Mary does in our business. And I'm going to go even more deep dive into content on how you can leverage your life. I'm going to be sharing the £10 million plus mobile lifestyle blueprint and how you can use that in your life and your business as well on Sunday. So if you want to register for Sunday's training, it's completely free. It's bit.ly/leverage lifestyle. I'll put the link into the comments now. But let me ask Mary a few more questions as well. So, so a few people are asking, have you worked with other clients around the world, maybe in different time zones? Obviously, how do you manage that? Obviously, at the moment, you're full-time for us as well. But if you've got any experience there that you want to share, you're very welcome to.
Yes, I've worked with other clients before in Australia as well as in Singapore, and I have worked with one of my clients in London as well. So that's it.
All over the world, yeah. And then did you always work to the time zone where the client was based, or has it been a mix?
No, I have to be flexible in their time zones. So for me to have a constant communication with them, because it's hard to work if I will follow just my time zone.
Yeah.
So I have to be flexible. Yeah.
That's great. But do you enjoy that freedom, the flexibility that brings to you?
Yes.
Great.
Yes, of course.
Fantastic. So what other questions do I get through? Bear in mind, please do ask any of your questions as well. Okay, fantastic. So we've got some more questions coming in live for you, Mary. So it's asked about how we've trained you to get to this level of responsibility. So one of the things when we were going through hiring Mary was the fact that we wanted someone who was not just our kind of basic admin level VA. The fact that Mary could take on managing the rest of the virtual team was obviously really key, that she could answer our emails and things like that, which obviously really is a high level task. So one of the things was making sure Mary had that level of competence and training already. But again, I suppose I'll ask it back to you. What sort of things have we taken you through to help you or enable you to do the job that you do for us?
Okay, so actually, I didn't go through any training. I just go through product specific, wherein I will be able to understand their business more.
Yeah.
Training wise, I didn't have any trainings because regarding the softwares, regarding the apps, I already know that.
Yeah.
And I already shared it with the business and implemented it along with the team.
Yes, exactly. So that was really key for us, that actually Mary has brought on board even more systems and apps for us to use. So one of the key things for us is that actually we learn more from our team sometimes than we can even teach them. So that's what we love about bringing in a team on board. So one of the things we do start off with as well, in terms of training, I suppose that it's a bit of a catch-all term. So one of the things we do start off with is making sure the team members all know who each other is. And we do what's called an onboarding process with them. So again, one of the other things I will talk about again on Sunday is what we call our fast start memo, to get people, whoever joins our team, up to speed with what our businesses do, who the other members of the team are, get them all introduced to each other, because that's really, really key. The other thing as well, obviously, when we're talking about our different businesses, we talk about the systems we use. Can they use them already? Do they have experience in them? And Mary was really great because she had a lot of experience already in the systems and software we were already using. And like I said, has been able to bring to us new ones that have been really, really helpful to get just things working even quicker, even better. So I really say a key thing is learn from your team members as well. So yeah, is that about accurate there, Mary?
Yes, and also one more thing, when I started here, Steve told me what he's expecting about my work, and at the same time, as I mentioned, I was endorsed, or I was endorsed to the other tasks or other softwares that we currently use, so I will be able to adapt easily.
Yeah, really great. So I think that's a really key point there. You've just mentioned, Mary, is about setting out the expectations from the beginning and what we expected from the role. I think previously we've hired virtual assistants and we hadn't been so clear on what we needed. So I think by the time we came to hire Mary, we were very clear on what we needed and why we needed it. Now, actually, one of the things is before we hired Mary, we were looking at having a physical-based executive PA work for us here in the UK. Now, the cost would have been a lot more, just because obviously our economies are a lot different. But actually, what we found was as soon as we brought on board Mary, she did everything we needed in terms of that kind of what we thought we needed in a physical PA role. But she's been able to do it virtually for us. For example, look after the different members of the team, do personal tasks for us as well. So really, she's been an absolute godsend. And I think so many people think they have to have someone who's physically based here or wherever they are in the world, because I know we've got a few international people as well. So do think about the fact that actually you don't need to go physically based. And it could probably save your business a lot in terms of, obviously, yes, pay, of course, that's one thing, but equally it's the overheads of having offices and having people based here as well. So really, really great. And as I say, I'm just singing Mary's praises. She has been absolutely brilliant for us. So another question we've got for you here, Mary, and again, please do keep bringing in your questions online as well. We're going live for quite a while. We'll go until about 9 o'clock here, UK time. Just obviously some people might want to watch this video back. We don't want to make it overly onerous on people to watch back. But I've been asked the question here, Mary, for you. What do you think the pros and cons of being a VA are?
Oh, okay. So, yeah. So as I mentioned, the pros is I have my own freedom, and at the same time, I can set my own schedule. I can work when I want, where I want, and also one of the advantage of being a virtual assistant is I can work directly with the directors or the CEOs, because as you know, here in the Philippines, it's hard to work directly to the boss, to the big boss. So for me, this is an advantage, and I'm learning new set of skills by working directly with the boss. At the same time, it gives me more confidence. And one more thing, I don't have to sit at the desk all day, because as you know, in the office, you just need to sit from 8 o'clock in the morning up until 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So I can work anywhere on my house. I can either sit on our couch, or I can, or you can also see me working on my bed during at night. And I also don't have to worry about my looks, because you know, it's a girl thing.
Yeah.
I can yes, and I can also wear what I want to wear. I can work on my pajamas, so I don't have to worry about that. Yes.
Mary, it's so funny. We've got a few people commenting saying hallelujah to that. Like, they think it's brilliant. You can just wear what you want and look how you want it.
Yes. And then for the disadvantage or the cons about being a virtual assistant is, you know, it's really hard to stay focused at home, especially when you're a mom. And if you have pets as well, like dogs. That's why I don't work with clients that requires me to do a phone call inbound or outbound, because of the kids at the same time with my pets. And because you know, working at home is really distracting, or sometimes it's really distracting, especially as I mentioned, I have dogs. So that's it. And one more thing is that there's no benefits, unlike in corporate, but it depends on the client. I know in my heart that you and Steve is generous enough for us to give more benefits, like holiday pay, and then rewards or bonuses, and health insurance, and then the 13-month pay for the Christmas. Because I have lots of VA friends that they don't have the same benefits like us. So I'm really blessed, and I'm really thankful for that. So it depends on the client. So that's it. But there's still a lot of advantage than disadvantages of being a virtual assistant.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you for that, Mary. And I think that's really key. So a few people are asking about how they can get someone like Mary, and how can you join in as well. So one of the things I will be sharing on Sunday at 8 o'clock as well, on the online training. I've put the link into how you can register to join. It's absolutely free. It's bit.ly/leverage lifestyle. And I love the fact that you've mentioned, you know, it's very kind of you that, yes, so really key for us is that our team members feel valued, that we listen to what they want. So maybe that is an extra bonus for their good work. If they're meeting targets, lets them know they're doing great work, and lets them know that they're valued for us as well. One of the key things we've been looking at is medical insurance as well, to retain staff, to retain really great staff. So Mary's actually been looking at a few options for us that we can put into the contracts and use to incentivize staff to stay with us longer. Because of course, you know, there is that flexibility and freedom. So we've got to incentivize people and virtual assistants to stay with us, especially really great ones. So one of the things, sorry there, Dun.
Sorry, go ahead.
Is the fact that I'll share that with you as well. So actually, Mary, you've brought up a really great point. It will depend on the clients. So of course, if more people if we're sharing our methods with people, and you think we're fairly generous in how we work with you and that you feel valued, hopefully more virtual assistants across the Philippines will also be hired by people who have maybe learnt our method, and they'll be getting even better benefits and things along the way as well.
Oh, yes. And it also keeps us motivated to complete our task.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So it's all about, of course, asking your VA what they want, you know, what they're looking for. Maybe it's an extra day off a month. Maybe it's about, you know, bonuses when they do great work. And like you say, it is about ensuring that you're motivated to keep working and keep you know, hitting the targets as well, and have some incentives based around the targets, especially if they're going to. So for example, some of the I mentioned one of the tasks Mary's done for us recently is around increasing the amount of clients and bookings we get within our service accommodation business. So of course that's really key, and if obviously we get more bookings and that increases, then Mary has played a direct role in having us bringing more income to our business. Therefore, we should reward her with bonuses of a monetary value because it's brought in more money to the business. So hope that makes sense to everyone out there. So I'm going to see if we've got any more questions coming in. Oh, that's really great. So Beth's saying, I love how it's more of a partnership and Mary is helping you create the changes you need in your business. So yeah, absolutely. Mary's definitely doing that. And Adam's saying, Mary sounds like an amazing VA. Does she have any VA friends she can recommend? So fantastic question, Adam. Like I mentioned, you should hopefully see in the comments and links, I've put the link to my free online training where I'm going to go through the exact method we use to hire Mary and our 4 other virtual assistants that we have working for us on Sunday at 8 o'clock. The training is free and the link to register is bit.ly/leverage lifestyle. That is in the comments if you want to see that as well. So more people asking about pay again. I know we've mentioned that a little bit earlier. Mary, as she very rightly said, had signed an NDA, bless her. But again, there's a bit of an average range of what VA should is looking to get over there. So one of the key things actually is we actually asked Mary what she wanted and what sort of pay she was expecting. And as I mentioned earlier, we do what's called a 13-month bonus as well. So Mary is on a wage, on a salary based on the amount of hours she works per week for us. So it's not a per hour rate for Mary because she's working for us full time. And again, so we'll give a kind of average of what you might expect to pay for a VA. And I won't ask Mary any more about what she earns, but depending on their qualifications, what level. So Stephen's mouthing to me in the background, bless him, because he does pay our VAs. He makes sure they're all paid on time. So Stephen, would you like to tell me kind of the average range we should be looking at for a virtual assistant?
15 to 30,000.
Okay, so 15 to 30 Filipino pesos, so PHP. 15 to 30,000, that is. So in UK money, that will be, depending on the exchange rate on the day, of course, anywhere between £240 to £500. So again, it depends on, as I say, the qualifications, what role they're doing for you, the hours they're working, and that would obviously be a kind of full-time as well.
Skills.
Yeah, exactly, that's it. So really, really important. So a few people asking a bit about what's going to happen on the training on Sunday. So I mentioned as well, one of the things for us that was key, and the key reason that we hired our first virtual assistant. So Mary wasn't our first one, but she's definitely one of our favourite and our best for sure. And really thank her for giving up her time today as well. It is a public holiday in the Philippines today. Is the fact that actually we have partnered with Rob Moore, who is the founder of Unlimited Success. He wrote a book it was at the beginning of this year, last year, well, he probably wrote it last year, was called Life Leverage. It's a #1 bestseller. It's gone global. And we have partnered with Rob, like people have talked about. We've partnered with Mary and we've partnered with Rob to bring a joint venture. And we are bringing a Life Leverage online masterclass to you as well. So I'll probably talk about that a little bit on Sunday, of course. If anyone's interested in it at all, please get in touch. We'd love to talk to you more about it. It's essentially taking a step-by-step approach to all the actions and the how-to that you get in the book, but taking it and expanding it way beyond there, including how you get your virtual assistant, all the KPIs, KRAs, all the contracts, everything like that as well. Everything that's taken to get Mary, but way, way beyond that. All the software, the systems we use. Mary's talked about a few that she uses already today. So Slack we use for team communication, yeah. We use Asana as the project. Yeah, Asana is the task and project management tool. I've been using Evernote to look at some of the questions that we got in yesterday when I said I was going to be doing this Facebook Live. So we go through all of that as well. So hope that will be really helpful for you. But as I say, on Sunday, I want to take you through even more detail and let you know really what we do in our businesses, looking at some of the software, some of the key actions that we do within our businesses, some of the key technology, the key people that we have in our team. And I'm going to take that through all with you on Sunday, 8 o'clock live. And the training link to register for that absolutely free training is bit.ly/leverage lifestyle. So let me just see if there's any more questions that are coming in. I love it as well. So one of the things we do talk about is mindset that's needed. So a few people, I'll go back to some questions for you, Mary. So a few people asked me about, you know, how do we communicate well with a virtual assistant? Obviously, they're based across the other side of the world. And one of the things for people is really important is trust. But I think that's really important when people hire staff anywhere. So have you got anything you want to say about that and how you find it working with people working in different countries? Obviously, you've got to have a level of trust with us that we're going to do and pay you on time and things like that. So, of course, trust works both ways. So have you got anything you'd like to share with us on that at all, Mary?
Yeah, so that's why we have this software, which is Slack, so that we can have an efficient way of communication, unlike on emails, because on emails, it's not every hour or every minute you will be notified for a new email, and also you don't check that emails very or more often. That's why we have this Slack on our business, so that we can answer or we can attend to the questions very quickly. And as you know, being a virtual assistant or working virtually, the communication is the key for us to build trust. Because as you know, we don't work face to face, or we don't see each other physically. So constant communication is really the key for us to be successful in this business. Yeah,
I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Mary. Communication definitely is key. And the fact that we know that you're there on your smartphone, you're working that kind of mobile lifestyle business yourself, really, in the sense that, you know, you can take your phone with you, you can answer messages. You know, I love the fact that Mary said even when it's outside her working hours, she wants to make sure she's there for the team, there for us, and she's able to do that really quickly, just wherever she is, just on her smartphone. And that's what I love. And I think the key thing is about making sure if there's something not right, whether you're working with a face-to-face employee or a virtual employee, is that actually you're communicating really well. So if anything needs to change, be done differently, if you know, that there needs to be that continual feedback with each other. And one of the things one of the things we did implement in the business, and I hope that you find this beneficial, Mary, is the fact that we say to all our virtual assistants, please bring new ideas to the business. You know, anything you suggest will be considered. And the fact that we ask for that two-way feedback, and we do also do a quarterly feedback check as well with the team, so that we can get their input as well. Do you find that helpful, Mary?
Yes.
Really great. So I love that. Thank you, Mary. I think, like I said, trust is built through good communication. And I love it, Beth. So Beth's here as well. She's saying Life Leverage it's also about a mindset as well. So a lot of people maybe have been put off hiring a virtual assistant or maybe a staff member because they don't want to give over control, or they're worried about, you know, letting that task go to someone. But if anything, I found that virtual assistants that we work with, especially people like Mary, have got really great skills in the technology, which is not necessarily my forte. You know, I used to work in admin back in my previous roles. I used to work in Word, spreadsheets, things like that, but I didn't necessarily, the technology is not used where I used to work in public sector. It's just not the same thing. So things like Slack, Asana were all new to me when I first started my own business. So having people like Mary come on board who know this stuff straight away because they've already worked with clients who've used it before is really, really key. So it's about a mindset, letting go, letting know that people like Mary are out there who can do the job maybe better, quicker, faster than you, and definitely that. So love it. Beth's going to join us on the online training on Sunday. Like I said, register your free place now at bit.ly/leverage lifestyle. Any more questions that you want to ask Mary, please do now. We probably will be going very soon. Kitty says she loves Slack as well. That's great. Oh, Beth's got some questions here. So do your VAs work together a lot, or do they have their own tasks? So Mary, do you want to answer that question? Oh, I can hear the dogs in the background. Hi, dogs.
Yeah, we have different tasks in this business, but I have to know their tasks as well so that I can cover up whenever someone is absent. So that's it. But as I mentioned, we have different tasks.
Yeah, so one of the things we use Asana for is tracking everyone's tasks, and Mary's role as the kind of as our executive PA is to oversee the other tasks and making sure that our team complete them, and if they're not completing them on time, ask them why, give them help with that and oversee that. So one of the things Mary did recently was to get all our team together and do a virtual meeting as well, didn't you?
Yes, we have this Skype meeting every Friday to make sure what are the tasks and what are the tasks that they needed an assistance with, so that so it's like a constant communication, but on a weekly basis. So it's like more on reporting, unlike before that we have this end of the week reports just on documents. This time I implemented this weekly meeting so that the tasks that they have written on the document, we can discuss it live on call so that we can attend to their issues immediately, so that we can have an actions to take.
Fantastic. So it doesn't just sit there and kind of not get left maybe till the end of the month. You're chasing them up and sort of daily, but also having then a weekly meeting, which I absolutely love. So it means that rather than us having to manage all our VAs separately as well, Mary's overseeing that, and then we just have to communicate with Mary and just see how things are going, which absolutely has taken a lot of time off our hands. So one of the main reasons that we wanted to have Mary come on board is because I was pregnant and I was due to have little Ella. And I knew I wanted some of my time back. Steve obviously wanted to have his time as a daddy as well. And obviously running a number of businesses. I do a lot of live public speaking as well. Things like managing all our different VAs obviously can be time consuming. So I would definitely recommend having someone like Mary in place so that they can oversee all of your different staff members and team members. And that really has taken a lot of time off of our plate, and as I say, Mary's doing a fantastic job of it as well. So yes, Beth, we're going to be going into a lot more detail about some of the software that we use with Mary and our virtual team. So for example, Slack and Asana, I'm going to take you through that, how we use that in our business and how we've integrated different software as well to make the tasks easier. So one of the things we've implemented recently is a software called Zapier. So I'm going to go into that into a lot more detail on Sunday about how that integrates, how that's created processes for us. That means we don't have to physically do it. Zapier does it for us, which I absolutely love. So any more questions coming in? I'd love to take them. We're going to finally wrap up. So a big thank you to Mary for her time here. If you want to give her some love, please do. She is fantastic. So that's really, really great. So Helena's going to check out Zapier now. So fantastic. I'll talk you through how we use it in our team on Sunday at 8 o'clock on our free on-live training. Yeah, we're getting lots of little love hearts coming in for you now, Mary. You've obviously done a fantastic job. People have obviously loved what you've had to share. We really thank you for your time here as well. So as I say, is there anything you'd like to say about how maybe, so I'm going to talk about on Sunday how we went through the process of hiring you. Is there anything you would like to add about, was that a quite an easy process to go through, and any tips on other people looking to work with their first VA, anything you'd like to suggest would be good if they haven't worked with a VA before, what they can do to really get the best out of their virtual assistants?
Okay, so for my tips, I have a few tips here for people who are, or for the clients who are looking to outsource a virtual assistant, especially here in the Philippines, because most of us are really talented when it comes to our work. So, but you have to know these tips first. So the first one would be, you just have to be clear on who or what you need for your business. So on the job post itself, you have to be detailed enough so that the virtual assistant will know if she or he has the skill sets that you need.
Yeah.
Because as you know, virtual assistants are also are different. So we have different kind of skills. So you have to be straightforward for the job post. And one more thing, you have to manage expectations at the beginning. Once your virtual assistant is hired, you have to, both of you will, because because it's like dating. Both of you will be nice at first on the first day of on the first week of working. So is to set out exactly what you need to have, what you need to be done on your business, and then what you want, or what are your targets, and how you want it to be done. So and also, so one more thing is to have a great way to start outsourcing is to put a trial in place. So like, for example, to have a probationary period. So you can try your VA, let's say 6 weeks to 3 months of probie period, so that you will give enough time to know your virtual assistant better, and you will know whether or not your relationship will work, because as I mentioned, it's like dating, because we're working virtually. So one more thing, and the last part, and the most for me, the most important thing is the communication and feedback. So you need to have this regularly. You have to check on your employees, but I'm not saying that you have to check on them every day, but every relationship works best if you have regular communication and feedback. And since let's say we're working in a virtual world, this is the key to build trust for each other. So whenever your VA message you, or whenever your VA is asking for you, you need to have an open communication. And you too can also ask your virtual assistant how do they feel about the task, if they can do their task on this due date, so that you both feel comfortable with each other. So you will become more open, and so that your virtual assistant will be more efficient if your client, or if your boss is like my boss, because they're very, very, very kind. And also you have to be patient, and you also have to be good to your virtual assistants as well, because it's really hard to have a good boss, and at the same time, it's really hard to find a good virtual assistant. So once you have a good virtual assistant, go, and vice versa. If you have a good boss like Steve and Catherine, don't let them go. Do everything you will do for their business and for yourself as well. So that's it. That's my tips.
Love that, love that. Thank you, Mary. You got a lot of loves and smiley faces for the it's like dating. I love that analogy. Yeah, really, really yeah, the metaphor there.
Because, we don't really know each other. We just met online.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I love that. Yeah, obviously a lot of people now meet online, and then you know, I love that. I love that analogy. Really great. So fantastic tips there. Thank you so much, Mary, about getting the best out of a two-way. You know, it's a two-way relationship, isn't it? And like you say, you know, you don't have that face-to-face, so it is about really great communication, that two-way feedback. As I say, making sure you stick with them. So when you find a good VA and when you find a good client, you want to stay with each other. So as I say, if you can make sure you keep that together. And it's very lovely to hear that Mary's very happy with myself and Stephen as her bosses. So you had a lot of lovely comments saying, thank you so much, Catherine and Mary. It's been super useful. Thank you for your time. So thank you everyone who's been able to join us live. If you're watching this back, I hope you found this really useful. And hopefully as many of you can join us on Sunday, 8 o'clock for the free online training that I'm doing and hosting. I'm going to go through lots more of the software, how you can use that, how we hired Mary, the process we went through for that as well. And thank you again, Mary, for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. We made this work via Skype, via a second laptop. We did it. We made the technology work. And as I say, thank you for taking time on your public holiday, and enjoy the rest of your day there.
You too. And one more thing, before we end this. You can, I have read one question on the FB post that he's asking where to, how do we source our own VA, what to look out for, etc. So he's asking where to check or what are the outsourcing sites. So you can check on freelancer.com or onlinejobs.ph and also Upwork. So that's it.
Yeah, really great stuff. So as I say, we found Mary and our virtual assistants mainly through onlinejobs.ph. So it's really great you've mentioned that, Mary. And as I say, I'm going to take people through that whole process that we do in terms of the kind of vetting process. And I loved you talking about, you know, having a probation period, because I think a lot of people are worried about, you know, what if it doesn't work? Well, set it up from the beginning that you're going to have a probation period and that you can trial each other, because this is a two-way relationship, you know. The same for virtual assistant. They might want to say, actually, this isn't quite the role I thought it was going to be, or something like that. So it is about that two-way. Absolutely love that. So Helena saying thank you. Thanks, Kitty. Thanks, Azelam, and everyone who's been able to join us live. It's been great. Hopefully you've got a lot of your questions answered. I hope it's been really helpful having Mary. I think it's been an absolute treat. So thank you, Mary, for your time. Really, really great. And I'll speak to you a bit later, Mary. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm going to say goodbye now. So I'll give a little wave there and say goodbye.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thanks, Mary.
Bye.
Bye. So thank you once again for everyone who's been able to join us and taking your time with us. And if you're watching this back, hope it's been really useful for you. And as I say, I'm going to go through even more detail, not just around virtual assistants, but again, how you can leverage. And I want to talk to you about how Stephen and I have got down to our less than 4 hours a week throughout all our businesses. And if you want to ask any more questions, I am going to do, answer your questions live on that online training on Sunday at 8 o'clock. And as I say, the link is there in the comments, but it's bit.ly/leverage lifestyle. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm Catherine Turner, and you have been fantastic. Thanks so much all. Take care. Bye now.